One other topic, and I know most of your NFL career was as a backup, and much has been made about Shedeur Sanders that he didn't get first team reps. And, Chase Daniel, Josh McCown tweeted out, no, the backup quarterback doesn't get first team reps. It's standard, but it feels like everybody keeps trying to make excuses for Shedeur Sanders, and that shouldn't be one of them, that he didn't get first team reps. So as a backup quarterback, how often would you get first team reps during the week?
Yeah, never. So, Chase and Luke are exactly right. They've lived it just like every backup has lived it. And what's interesting about being the backup is you don't get any reps, but when you're thrown in there, everyone wants you to play like a starter. And when you don't, no one says, oh, well, little Timmy didn't get the reps. Like it doesn't work that way. Like that's how it goes. It's the same thing at pretty much every position. You might, some spots just because of the running and things like that at practice, you could lighten the load at certain positions, a running back maybe who's had a bunch of touches throughout the season. But really, the way it works is you only get so many plays in practice. Like guys don't go in at 8 o'clock and practice plays until 5:30. It doesn't work like you'll wear people out. Like it's a long season. And so, look, it might be 12 7-on-7 reps, 14 team reps. And then by those, you kind of section them out in terms of, situational football. Well, you give those to the guys that you're expecting to be playing, especially if it's a relatively young, inexperienced player. So like that is standard practice across the league. And really the only time a backup would get any type of work at the quarterback position is if, the starter is just, in year 15, year 18, and they're kind of like designed days off. Other than that, the starter takes all the reps. That's just how it works in the NFL.
And watching Shedeur, and granted, he gets far more attention than he should. His pocket awareness is not very good. His decision making is not very good. These are all things. This is why he was taken late in the draft. Now, those are things that I feel like he can correct, but this isn't Colorado. Now you're in the NFL and you're going against the Ravens, and they're going after your head. I mean, they know you're going to throw, and you go 4 for 16, throw an interception, and I don't know what happens after this. I guess it depends on Dillon Gabriel, but it feels like Dillon Gabriel got that starting job, Tim, because he was quicker at the line of scrimmage. He did get the ball out. I don't know if he's better, but I think he's better at the things that at least can help you keep a drive alive.
It's typically obvious in terms of the quarterbacks that are on a roster of who's most ready to play. It's typically very obvious. A lot of times, people will talk about, well, hey, the coach made the decision to go with this guy or that guy. Usually what happens is, if there's any type of parity in terms of the amount of reps guys get, it's very clear who's operating the situation better, than the next guy. It's obvious. There are very few times that it's like, nah, I'm not really sure. It seems to be pretty even. And so that's why, like, when you look at how things panned out at the beginning part of the year in Cleveland, I think it was pretty obvious to them. Like that, Flacco was at the time the most prepared to do it. And if Gabriel was the next guy up through the process, like it was most likely very obvious to everyone there that was making decisions that he was the most prepared to operate it. And Dan, like sometimes it can be as simple as, can you actually spit the play out in the huddle correctly? Can you actually get to the line of scrimmage? And when someone lines up incorrectly, can you get them lined up on the right, side of the field? And when you get a front or a look that doesn't work with the run or the protection you have called, can you make the adjustment, by making the call? And if you can't do those things, oftentimes if a guy is ready to play or not before he ever even snaps the ball in practice. It's just a matter of, can you at least get us to the point where you're giving us a chance before your ability to make a throw or make somebody miss ever comes into play?